I know you weren't expecting a live stream today, but excuse my voice, it's weird. But as a lot has happened in the past, 12 hours? It's been a crazy day. So, I kind of want to talk about it because I only feel good about things when I talk about them to, especially you guys. And so, we'll be, monitoring the comments throughout the whole thing. I don't know how long it's going to be today, but hopefully, we get through it together. So, hi everyone. Yeah. So a little update for y'all. Normally around this time of year, I post a new channel trailer. I know I'm wearing a Halloween t-shirt. I get that. I'm sorry. Today I was supposed to be in the office doing not much of anything besides editing, and no, that can't happen. Of course it can't happen. Because why? And so basically every year we come out with a channel trailer on our on all of our episodes. So basically, before the season starts every year in February, I normally put out a channel trailer to say, hey, this is a really funny video that kind of like previews the whole season for our show. And normally it's pretty cool because I get to just have a lot of fun with that channel trailer. Normally that episode, that video is one of the funnest and funniest I make every year. Well, that video normally comes out January 15th. That didn't happen this year, and here's why. Normally, so I scripted the video back in beginning of January. That's typically when they're scripted. It ends up going to my team. My team doesn't really approve of it right away. It's not because of COVID. It's because of homophobes. Oh my God, today has been a day. So my team normally approves of things right away. Well, they're a little bit late this year for personal reasons. That's perfectly fine. And we added to our team, and I wanted the whole team to be incorporated in that project, so it took a little bit longer. I expected that. So I expected our channel trailer to be out maybe the 16th or the 17th of the month. Well, they approved of the script a couple days ago. And everyone's like, yeah, it's really funny. Go right ahead. Hire the voiceover artist. Now, last year we had a voiceover artist that was really, really good at what he did. And so I went back to him and I said, hey, can you do the project again? The same exact way you did last year. Can you do it again? Because we love your work. Well, he's like, sadly, I'm not doing voiceover anymore. At least on this level. He's way far beyond in corporate level now. And he's no longer working for the rates that we wanted to hire him for. He's now the $1,000 range. And I'm like, I'm not paying that for a voiceover. He's a great, great guy. And I very much, recommend him to my corporate friends. I very much love his work and wish him the best of luck. It's just he wasn't right for this project because of our budget. Now, I went and I contacted a bunch of other people, but we go through a website for this called Fiverr.com. It allows you to get voiceover work for relatively inexpensive because we don't have a huge budget for this, but we really want to make it funny. And I wanted to make it a male artist, so it kind of, because this year's script is sort of like an extension of last year's script, of like a continuation of the conversation I had with the narrator, Sadly, I hired someone for the project. And I always make a point to telling people, hey, if you're not comfortable with LGBTQ causes, please tell me before you record the project. Because the worst thing that can happen is we get an artist to do the project and we have a homophobic voice behind the channel trailer of our entire channel for the next year. I don't want that to happen. I don't want to ever have to come back and read, oh, so-and-so voiceover artist was a homophobe or they did some crazy shit. I don't want to pay someone that's a homophobe. I don't want them to get my money, let alone now with ad revenue, your money from advertiser stuff and merchandise and all that. All of that stuff combined goes to paying for a voiceover artist right now. It's not as much as you think in ad revenue that we get, so we kind of pay the voiceover artists what we can, and we don't have that much to do for much money for that, and it's perfectly fine. It's understandable, but because of that, we're not able to just go out there and be like, hey, here's $1,000, record something. I don't care your personal beliefs. I want someone that is LGBTQ friendly or LGBTQ themselves. And so I contact someone, I hire them for the project, and I'm like, if you don't feel comfortable doing the project, return your money to me, and no harm, no foul, you know? You don't have to say anything. You can just return the money. I understand. Well, this person comes back up, and he returns the money with a message saying, sorry, but I believe that gay people can repent and gay people can, turn themselves to God. So I don't feel comfortable working on a channel trailer for an LGBTQ channel. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Wow. You could have just, sent me the money back and no harm, no foul. I would have never known you're a homophobe. The good part is here, first off, we got the money back. And better news is that we will not have a homophobe on our channel trailer. So that's really good news. He could have just recorded it and not told me he's a homophobe, and I found out later, but he told me, which is good. But it was also the first time in my life where I've been denied and I've had a cancellation on a project because someone's a homophobe. Normally, I'm just like, hey, by the way, it's an LGBTQ channel, I'm a gay person or whatever, and if you have a problem with that, just don't explain, just walk away, Normally, everyone I've ever tried to hire has been like, yeah, I don't care. I'm still going to do the project anyway. Okay, yeah. Hi, Deucer. Bye, Hank Williams. If you're a homophobe, bye. So, this homophobe was like, yeah, I believe that you need to repent. Even though it is not a sin to be gay, it is not a sin to be trans, it is not a sin to be LGBTQ, non-binary, and it was a horrible experience. So I'm like, all right, fine. This one person was a homophobe. I'm happy they weren't on the project. I'm happy in the long run this person outed themselves as a homophobe before they did the project, before they really took the money. So, all right. And so what we did was we hired somebody else. Well, that person comes back and says, I won't do the project for religious reasons either. Now it's 2 within 8 hours. By the way, we had hired the first voiceover artist a couple days ago. That came back this morning, and he's like, I'm not doing the project because I'm a homophobe. And then within an hour, we're hiring someone else for the project. They turn out to be a homophobe. So then we get refunded the money from that second one, and then we hire a third person. The third person comes and says, hey, by the way, I'm a homophobe too. I don't want to do the project. And I believe it is a sin to be gay, which is not factual in any religion in the world. But, they're like, hey, 3 homophobes in a row within a matter of 8 hours. All canceled doing the project for us. So now I'm like, well, now what the fuck? Now what do I do? Because everything else in this entire channel trailer is already recorded. The script is finalized at this point. I can't change the script. I can't make it a woman's voice. I can't make it a non-binary voice. It has to be a male voice because that's the way it's scripted right now, without a bunch of changes and without the entire team working on it. So what do I do? So I contacted a lot of my friends really fast and I said, hey, I know it's not a perfect situation. My budget is like $20. I know it's not a lot of money, but that's the most I have, literally. Normally for this project, I would only do $10, which is literally our budget beforehand. And now I'm like, you know what? I've dealt with 3 homophobes in the past 8 hours. I will put on another $10 for you if you just do the project. And if you get it to me by Friday of this week. It's a short turnaround time, but it's only 83 words you have to record. I will literally tack on double the price because you're being helpful and because you're not a homophobe. So I contact a bunch of my friends and I'm like, I'm going crazy here and I need this done. My audience wants to see this. I know they do. And I want to get it out there before February starts, which is when our season starts. So we ended up contacting about 20 or so people for the project. One of them got back to me and he's like, by the way, I'm LGBTQIA friendly. I will gladly help on the project. How many words do you need? And I'm like, 83. 83 words, you know? And I kind of need it by tomorrow or as soon as possible, you know? And he's like, I'll do it for $15. And I'm like, cool. And so now we have a voiceover artist officially for the project that we just hired moment before I went live. And finally it's being recorded. But the hell that we just went through to get a voiceover artist to do this project is, to be honest, chilling. I've always dealt with the debate of, and we'll even have probably an episode on this eventually, of, well, what happens in a situation like, oh, a cake decorator? The big case of the whole topic is a gay couple goes to a cake decorator to hire them to make a cake for their wedding, right? And sort of the debate comes around like, well, all you're doing is making a wedding cake, so what's the difference? You know, whether you deliver it to a gay couple or whether you deliver it to a straight couple, there's no difference for a cake decorator because your cake is just cake, you know? Compared to a voiceover artist, which I do understand. A voiceover artist or an actor or someone that's going to have their voice or their image or something attached to an LGBTQ cause like this, it's a little different because now your voice is forever going to be attached to an LGBTQ cause, like Powered by Rainbows. And I do genuinely understand that if you don't believe in this cause, then I don't want your voice on it. Because not only do you have the right to say, yeah, my voice is my voice, but I have the right to say, hey, I don't want a fucking homophobe on my channel. So, if you're in school, be in school. Don't get in trouble. But I just wanted to quickly hop on and talk about this because it's been a hell of a past 10 hours here trying to do this. And I kind of wanted to explain to everyone on the main channel why the channel trailer is going to be late this year. It might not be out until Friday or Saturday when it normally hits on the 15th of the month. It's now the 19th of the month and it's going to be late. I know that. And I know eventually we're going to get a couple questions on it and I want to explain why. Like, probably because of COVID, my team took, and my team is a little bit bigger this year, so it took a couple more days, but now it's like, hey, and by the way, if the voiceover artist that actually is working on the project is watching right now, my team is all volunteers, They all help for free. They're all really good friends of mine that just really love the work we're doing. Um, but yeah, it's like we have such a limited time frame to make season 4, and it was like, all right, now we have to deal with this bullcrap 3 times in a row in 10 hours, you know. But yeah, the cool news, the good news is, after all that bullcrap, hopefully we'll have a great commercial for y'all. The the really good news is that we just got done uploading uh 2 episodes with 2 extra episodes that can I talk about them? Yeah. Soon we'll have channel memberships on the channel here that you can watch the behind the scenes and the the bloopers and outtakes. So we uploaded 2 full episodes and then 2 more videos for members who subscribe to the channel, and they get bloopers and outtakes of each of those 2 episodes. So it's really cool. I want to do it when I leave school, but I don't know if my parents would let me go down that career path. Wait, what? What do you want to do? Owning your own bakery. Oh, this discrimination will never happen in my bakery. Yes. That'd be an awesome career. Bakeries do well. Bakeries do really well. I know one. I've worked for bakeries before as a commercial videographer. They're pretty cool, and they do well. So, yeah. So now my friends are all like getting back to me, and they're like, "Hey, do you want me to do it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but now I have someone. I'm sorry." Oh my God, it's been crazy, man. Someone. So how's it all going for you guys? I will respond to comments in a second. So how are y'all doing? Have you dealt with homophobes recently? Also, I'm responding to one of the voiceover artists that I contacted, and now we have someone. So I'm like, hey, we have someone, but in case it falls through, then you're my second bet. Anyway, you're at school. I know everyone's at school. I'm sorry. I went live when y'all are at school. Oh my God. Your mom is slowly coming out as homophobic. Well, fuck her. Yeah. Sorry this is off topic, but at some point, can you make a video about they, them pronouns in other languages? That's an interesting topic. That's a really interesting topic. I've never heard of that. Ooh, I like it though. I mean, we were thinking about doing a non-binary one this year, but other languages, that's interesting. Oh my God. Biden didn't cheat the election. He won fair and square. Oh my God. Biden's gonna be the president tomorrow at noon. Get over it. I also don't know why you're here. Because this is not about Biden. This is about homophobes. And this is about a channel trailer that's late. So, yeah. Agender stuff. We're doing one on aromantic and asexual in a couple weeks. That'll be out, hopefully. We have someone lined up for it, but quite literally, his like mom, I think, just died or something. Something happened, and I was like, oh, that happened. So I'm like, yeah, maybe we'll have to reschedule. But there's someone, an activist, promised to be on the show It's just a matter of when. I know that. But agender, that's that's pretty that's a pretty cool top. I think we'll definitely get into it. In the first week of the year here, not the first week of January, the first week of our year, which starts February 5th. February 5th to December 31st, every Friday or every week, you'll see a brand new episode from us. Could you do a video on you trying to make a rainbow cake? That would be awesome. We do have cooking classes coming this year. So maybe. I'll put it past Becca, who's the main producer of the life skills class, which is how we're filming those cooking classes. So I'll put it past her. But sure, I think, hopefully. Do you know Jimmy Dot? I don't know many people. So the first Friday out of the box here for us is February 5th. We'll be returning for season 4 of the show. That is going to be an episode on the 259 LGBTQ holidays throughout the year. And that way you can mark your calendars for all the holidays, because none of the holidays are in January. So we're starting off February with, hey, here are all of the holidays for the year, and you can mark your calendars for your specific holidays. But so you know, one reason we're also doing that is because throughout the year we're going to sort of try to follow that holiday schedule and match it. So like on Agender Pride Day, we might do an agender topic that week, you know, sort of like that. But we'll be filling in the rest of the weeks with a lot more episodes. We have quite literally like 80 some episodes already booked for the year, and we'll be adding to that over the course of the year. But all of February episodes, I think, are recorded besides one, and then March episodes are pretty much ready to go already. So we're getting it done, man. And that means we'll be really ahead of schedule for June, so that we can actually deliver 3 episodes a week in June for Pride Month. But yeah, we're starting the season off with a really good topic episode that I know you'll enjoy with that, because people get confused at the, 94 pride flags, and it's like, yeah, by the way, we also have 259 holidays in our community that you have to, that you can remember if you want to, that might apply to you, some don't apply to you, but 259 holidays, there's a lot to cover, so we have that episode coming out February 5th. Then we'll have LGBTQ in video games coming out on the 19th of February. We'll have Gayborhoods and Gaytrification episode. That's a really interesting topic. I very much recommend watching it. We'll have an episode on bisexuality on the first Friday of February, because it's first Friday of March, because March is Bisexual Health Awareness Month. We'll have the Gayborhoods episode is mostly about the history, because it's also LGBTQ History Month in United Kingdom in February. And then we have LGBTQ tobacco use. We'll have transgender people in sports programs debate. A bunch of different things in March to come. And we have, hopefully we're going to have a guest every single month on the show. So you're going to love that. But with that, we really wanted a great channel trailer, and it just took a long time to get there. So, yeah. Anyway. It's a shame it took us that much work. So it's like, it was complete bullcrap. On the other side was really good news today. I mean, I literally, after the night that we've had, trying to figure all this voiceover stuff out for the channel trailer, we found out that, who is it? Dr. Rachel Levine, who is the State Secretary of Health in Pennsylvania, she is a wonderful person who saved thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of lives throughout the COVID pandemic we've been going through in America. She has been incredible throughout that. And because she is transgender, she's the first transgender Secretary of Health in the state of Pennsylvania. She was elected, uh, appointed by Governor Tom Wolf, but then unanimously confirmed by the House of Representatives and the Senate of Pennsylvania, which is unheard of for Democrats and Republicans to all agree. All of them agree on someone is unheard of, and they all agreed on her. So she was confirmed a couple years ago, and then she's been working in the state ever since. And then this pandemic, people in Pennsylvania have been very transphobic against her and calling her by her dead name and calling her by the wrong pronouns the entire pandemic. It's like the pandemic didn't even exist to certain people. It was just wanting to be transphobic, and that was all that was important to people. And literally, she's been trying to save everyone's lives, and then she got this crap in return. But then today, this morning at like 6 a.m. Eastern Time, she was just appointed by Joe Biden for Assistant Secretary of Health for the United States. So she just got a huge, huge promotion from Joe Biden. And now we officially have, or now she's working as an interim assistant state secretary, assistant secretary of health for the United States government. And she'll be working in that position from when Joe Biden gets confirmed to whenever she gets or from whenever Joe Biden gets inaugurated tomorrow at noon to whenever she gets confirmed by the by the United States Senate, which shouldn't take too long because the Democrats have control of the Senate right now. So it really shouldn't take that long for it to happen. So what you'll end up seeing is Dr. Rachel Levine being confirmed by the Senate probably within a little while. But in the time being, she'll be interim Assistant Secretary of Health. So that'll be really good for our community to have transgender representation in the Department of Health of the United States government. So that was just mind-boggling this morning to see. It was great news to see this morning, right after all of this homophobia that we were dealing with for the show. So that's why the title of this is so many ups and downs today, because it was just like, all right, we couldn't find a voiceover artist, we couldn't find a voiceover, and then she's confirmed to she's appointed by Joe Biden, and we're like, oh my God, our community, like, it's been so back and forth today. I don't even know what to think. And I'm like, you know what? And I literally want to go to bed because I feel like we've had enough ups and downs today to just hold us over, you know? But then I'm like, I still need to edit a video today. So that'll be the Gayborhoods episode. So that's going to be edited today. And hopefully uploaded today. But yeah, oh my God, it's crazy. Yeah, so Trump is officially leaving office tomorrow morning. I don't know what exact time, but he's being flown down to Florida tomorrow morning, and that way he's not there for the inauguration, which no one really wants him there for anyway. So that's me good. I'll be watching the inauguration tomorrow, just because I want to see what happens. And as a news reporter, I kind of want to just be able to tell, like I want to see what happens. And that way tomorrow night when I go to work, I'm like, oh, I know what I'm already working on, a story for that. I want to see if any like riots happen. Hopefully they don't. There's 25,000 National Guardsmen and women down there right now in Washington, D.C. A couple of my relatives live in Washington, D.C. in the center city. So I'm getting reports from them of what's happening and it's crazy. So hopefully nothing bad happens tomorrow. Hopefully everything goes well. But yeah, no matter what, tomorrow at noon, we will have a new president of the United States. So that's cool. And one that's LGBTQ friendly, and one that promised to pass the Equality Act in his first 100 days of office. So that's cool. His team has since come out and said that might not actually happen in the first 100 days because, COVID is more important. And we're like, fine, COVID is important. You're right about that. But you made a promise, so stick to it. We're going to hold you to that. We voted for you because you made that promise, so do what you promised. We're not going to let him off the hook. People in the comments, I know, especially for our Republican friends, they're going to say that, we were hard on Trump. Well, we were hard on Trump because he passed 135 anti-LGBTQ actions since taking office in just 4 years. And no president in history has done more than one anti-LGBTQ thing in office. He's done 135. So it's kind of not equal. And that's why we were hard on him. But people are going to say, oh, y'all love Joe Biden and you're going to be easy on him. No, we're going to hold him to the same standard. We're going to hold him to his promises, especially here at our show, because we are reporters and we are, because we're, independent, we're going to hold him to the same standards. If Joe Biden starts doing anti-LGBTQ things, we're going to report on it. If he doesn't pass the Equality Act in the first 100 days, we're going to hold him to that. And we're going to start asking questions of why didn't you do what you promised? So I think it's unfair of either party or any party to not hold themselves to the same standard that the other party, that they're holding everyone else to. It's like you can't have that double standard. And so because I'm an independent, yeah, this is live, by the way. But because I'm independent, I get to report on both sides, and on my show, we get to talk about both sides. So we will definitely be holding him to that promise and seeing if he actually comes through. Why is Trump in a peach? I don't know. Why was he impeached? Because he incited insurrection on the U.S. government. He was instructing his followers to start a civil war. Which is the first time that's ever happened in America. We've had a civil war before, but we've never had the president of the United States telling his followers to go and do it. We've never had an openly gay president in the United States. I don't know if other countries have, but we've never had that. We almost had Pete Buttigieg, who was running as a Democrat back in the primaries, but because of our primary system in America, basically, the primary system is messed up because certain states vote before other states, and so we don't all get to choose what candidate we like. By the time it gets to Pennsylvania, we can only choose from a select number of candidates. And sadly, Pete Buttigieg was not on my ballot because I was registered as a Republican at the time. And so I ended up just writing in Pete Buttigieg on my ballot, and that way I got to say that I voted for the first openly gay president of the United States, which was a pretty cool feeling for me. Even though I knew he wasn't going to win the Republican primary, it's just it was pretty cool to be able to do that. I would love an LGBTQ president. So would I. I would have gladly voted for Pete Buttigieg if he made it through the primaries. I think he would have been 10 times better of a candidate than Joe Biden even. But sadly, the way the primaries work in America, we don't all get to decide. So, oh, you're in the UK. That would be awesome. I know there's a lot of representatives that UK has that would be, that are LGBTQ. What about a first lesbian president? That would be really cool. We have, by the way, tomorrow we have the first black, first woman vice president, and the first she's like the first of 3 or 4 things as vice president. But she's also the tiebreaker in the Senate right now because it's 50-50. and she's the tie-breaking vote because the vice president gets the 101st vote in the Senate. So no matter what the Democrats try to do these next 4 years, or at least 2 years until the midterm elections, they should be able to do it. So there should be no excuses. Just similarly, if you remember back when Trump was elected in 2016, Republicans controlled the House, they controlled the Senate, and they controlled the presidency, which is the executive branch of the government. So they controlled all three, and everyone was like, hey, you have 2 years here to do anything you pretty much want that you want to pass. And they were promising for how many years? We're going to redo healthcare. We're going to do all this other stuff. And it's like they didn't do it for 2 years. So we will be following up to see, because the Democrats now control the House, the Senate, and the executive branch as well. So they have 2 years to do pretty much anything they choose to do as long as they stick together. And we will see what they're able to accomplish in 2 years. Hopefully at least roll back some of the anti-LGBTQ things that the last president did. TAG stands for touch and go. That is a very random fact. Anyway, yes, we have to paint paint rainbows over the universe. That would be great. But yeah, we have a terrific season coming ahead. We have a great couple first episodes already recorded, already edited. I love what we have coming to you guys. And yeah, Senate races are confusing. You're not wrong there. It's a hard thing to try to understand in politics, but not necessarily for this show, but for my activism and for my work as a reporter, I kind of have to follow politics a little bit. And it's like, who created this system? Matt, can you be my teacher in real life? Well, I could be your teacher here at Powered by Rainbows because we're Pride Classroom. British politics are strange, but politics in the US, yep, we're so much worse. At least in UK, you have more than 2 parties. And that's the sad part in America, is it's either 1 or 2 people. It's like, that's your choices. In UK and Canada, they have better systems. When will you do an Among Us live stream? Probably not anytime soon. I'm really sorry. We're incredibly busy working on season 4. My team members are currently writing episodes for April right now. And you might be asking why. And they're like, you might be asking why they're working on April right now, because it's only January, and you're like, that's so far ahead, Matt. And I'm like, yeah, it's so far ahead. But June pops up before you think, and we have a lot to do for June. So we need to start working on June in April, in order to get that much content out. Also, you have to understand, we actually have a trip planned. You guys want to know where we're going? Because it's really cool. We already booked it. It's really cool. We have 3 team members going with us, so that's really cool. We are taking the entire class on a field trip. Oh my God, to the Bahamas? You think we have the budget to go to the Bahamas? Wow. You can certainly make a donation. If you make a super chat for, I think it would have to be like $15,000 or something. Then we can probably go. But no, we are taking, I don't know where the donations are at. They're available. It's just we haven't asked for them. They're certainly available if you want to give. So we're officially traveling to New York City Does anyone know what's in New York City special to the LGBTQIA? I want to ask the class. See, let's pretend this is real school, and y'all raise your hand and be like, "Oh, Stonewall." Yep, Stonewall. Broadway would be cool too, but we're officially going to Stonewall. Yeah. So that's where you live. Awesome. Well, maybe you can come down and visit us that day. That day we will hopefully be able to make a community post on the page here of like, hey, we're in New York City today. Come say hi if you're in New York City. So the Stonewall riots were basically, they were the most pivotal time for our community. And you would have to do a lot of super chats at $500. No. So basically, our community was arrested. You know, anytime you wanted to hang, and this is what we'll talk about in the Gayborhoods episode a little bit. So I don't want to foreshadow too much, but basically, gay people and LGBTQ people were in certain areas of certain cities in the ghettos because that's all they can afford, that's all they can live in, because it was illegal to be gay back then. And so they sort of all got together and lived together in the same areas of the city. And that's what happened in the around Stonewall in New York City, and in what's called Greenwich Village in New York City. And so the police would always raid the bars, the restaurants in that area, because they knew gay people were all there and they knew it was illegal to be gay back then. So they could raid Stonewall Inn and be like, hey, we're all gonna get everyone and arrest everyone for being gay. That's what they did back then, right? And so what ended up happening was the owners of Stonewall was a restaurant, and then all of a sudden, a couple years prior to Stonewall riots, back in like 1966 or 67, it was, when the mafia actually bought Stonewall Inn and created a bar there for LGBTQ people. And they charged extreme prices for alcohol or food or anything. They charged extreme prices, but at the same time, they were kind of promising it to be this a little bit safer of an area, right? Because they were actually paying off the police and bribing the police to not raid Stonewall. So the mafia did all of this behind closed doors and all very much underneath the table. They're bribing the police and saying, here's money, don't come raid the Stonewall Inn, and then charging extra prices to the LGBTQ people for just going out to the bar that day. So it was a little bit higher price for gay people, but also you got a sense of security while you're there. What ended up happening was the police were like, hey, bribing us is also illegal, so we're going to take the money from the mafia and we're going to still raid the Stonewall. And they did this across the country, around the world, all parts of the world. They kept on doing this. They took the money as bribery and they kept raiding these places. So on June 28th, 1969, what happened was the police again raided the Stonewall Inn, and the LGBTQ people said, enough is enough. We're going to fight back, and we're not going to get arrested tonight. So 1969, sorry. So they fought back and heroically said, we're not going to, oh my God, already the voiceover just came back, so I can actually listen to it right now. But I might go do that right now after the live stream. But what ended up happening was they fought back and they said, we're not going to have this anymore. And the police eventually did back down. But in that process, a man by the name of Craig Rodwell, who we talked about before on our show in an episode specifically for him, you can just search Powered by Rainbows, Craig Rodwell, basically. He ended up calling all of these news organizations and he said, hey, get down here, something monumental is happening that you're going to want to cover as a newspaper or a TV station, right? You're going to want to cover this. Come down with your reporters now. No one but one came. Only one organization, one news organization, sent one reporter to cover this. And just think about this for a moment. It was the single greatest and most pivotal moment in history for 10% of the world's population, and only one organization in the world wanted to cover it. Basically, that's like saying 9/11 happened and only one reporter covered it in America. That's insane. But what happened right after that was Craig Rodwell went to a convention called the, what was it? Convention for Homophile Organizations in Philadelphia, PA, later that year, right? And him and Ellen Brody, I believe it was, said, we need to remember this monumental day. So what we're going to do is we're going to create the Christopher Street Liberation Day in 1970. And it's going to be celebrated on June 28th, or the last Sunday or Saturday in June. We're going to celebrate this day every year. And in 1970, on the anniversary of the Stonewall riots, they went and they celebrated on the exact same street that Stonewall Inn is located on Christopher Street in New York City. And what ended up happening from that was that created, it took a couple of years, obviously, but after that point, every major city was like, we need to celebrate this day too. And so many cities were doing this at that point, after a couple of years, that they started going, we need to separate our days a little bit. And so nowadays, what we think of as pride events and celebrations, well, back in the day, they were riots against the police. And it was all started because of a man named Craig Rodwell and Ellen Brody. So these two people created literally every pride event that you see nowadays. And so we call them the co-creators of Pride, and they're true American heroes for doing that. So there's a little history lesson for you on the Stonewall riots, but we're going to Stonewall Inn this year. We'll be going there probably in April or May, and it's going to air actually on the anniversary of Stonewall riots in June. So because we need time to edit that episode, it's going to take a lot. But we're also like, I think interviewing people. We're getting a tour of the place, I believe, from the national park. There's a lot that's happening that we're still trying to figure out all the logistics for, but it's going to be a big, big day for us recording. We also might take a visit to the YouTube space in New York City to record some stuff there in the official YouTube TV studios, because we're at the level now of YouTube where we can actually do that, hopefully. So we will see what happens, but all of that is contingent on COVID behaving and us kind of getting vaccinated before we do that. So hopefully it all goes well. We're kind of hoping everything happens in time for that, but we're like, we have to start planning now, otherwise it won't happen no matter what. If it doesn't happen, then we will do it later in the year. It's happening. It's just no matter of when, because of COVID. COVID might mess everything up, but again, that comes back to the politics of it, of Biden is promising vaccines by a certain time. So hopefully we shall see that. Anyway, now that we've been going live for almost an hour, I want to go to the Pride Parade that happened in a city 40 minutes away from mine, but my mom would flip being closeted. Sucks. So, yeah, what I would say to that is contact one of your friends that happens to know you're LGBTQ, or one that would be friendly to it, and just be like, hey, hey mom, I'm going over their house, and then when you go over their house, they take you. And your parents don't have to know. That's what we tell people. But if you can't go to a Pride event in person, please know that we are broadcasting at least 2 or 3 Pride events this year that we already have on the books, as long as COVID behaves. We have 2 or 3 Pride events that we're going to be filming and broadcasting on this channel. That way you can still attend an event virtually. So, there you go. And if we have time, we'll even be doing one of our own. Should not have said that. There's a lot of work in that. So yeah, I probably shouldn't have told you that part. Anyway, it's live. Hey, what are you gonna do? Just know all of this is like, wow, it might happen, it might not happen. COVID is a thing that still is contingent on everything. So here you go. Anyway, I officially have a voiceover in my inbox. So I'm gonna go listen to it, and I'm gonna go edit our season trailer and see if I can upload it today. Hopefully it can be done today. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. After all the bullshit we went through this morning, I'm really hoping it can be done today. I'm really hoping. Oh my god. Oh my god. It was so messed up. But hey, it works out in the end. We don't have a homophobe on the voiceover this year. Whew. You know, bullet dodged. So it was 10 hours of work to get to that point, but we're here. Hopefully it sounds good. Hopefully there's no revisions, but oh man, it was not easy, and that's why I kind of went live today. We weren't supposed to go live today, but I'm like, I need to explain to y'all why the channel trailer is late this year. I need to explain to y'all what's happening, because I've dealt with 3 homophobes, and I kind of want to talk about it just to get it out, because I feel a lot better talking about things rather than keeping them in. Don't worry about me. My stress level has gone down so much. Oh my god. By the way, before the holidays, I was completely going insane, and I had a lot of panic attacks and stuff because of other work and this channel. Now I've learned to meditate all the time, and I've learned to read more at night before I go to bed. Oh my god, Ash Columbia just messaged me, and I honestly thought it was Ash Coyote, and I'm like, oh my god, Ash Coyote is watching. Like, I want you on the show. I really should just stop talking about future things for the app. I'm going to spoil so many things if they actually happen. I want so many people to be on the show this year, but we'll see. Hopefully. But really, after the holidays was over, I've stopped stressing a lot now, and I'm taking one thing at a time, so things are a lot better. It's just the past 10 hours were like, really? Really? You're going to cancel because you're a homophobe? Really? Really? Why can't you just not tell me that information? By the way, someone just said, imagine if you got Trump on the show, that would be hell. I would never have him on the show. Homophobes are never allowed on the show. I know there's certain YouTubers out there that do this whole thing of like, oh, have this debate between a homophobe and an LGBTQ rights person. I'm like, no, homophobes shouldn't get airtime no matter what. So homophobes go to Homophobe Mountain, and that's it. Yes. So I'm gonna go work on the channel trailer. Hopefully I'll see it today if it's perfect. If I have revisions for him, hopefully I'll see it tomorrow or the next day. But yeah, you're right. They don't deserve a mountain. They deserve a pit in hell, which they'll have because they're sinning by hating people. But anyway, like I said, I know I'm wearing Halloween stuff, but I wasn't supposed to go live, and this is really comfy. So, LGBTQ Mountain for straight allies and LGBTQ people. That's a good one. No, we throw them off the mountain. Anyway, have a good night, everyone. Good day at school, everyone. And homophobes go to the void. Anyway, have a good day, everyone. Hope you enjoy. If you're in America, watch the inauguration tomorrow of Joe Biden, an LGBTQIA supporter, who made big promises we'll hold them to in the next couple years. Anyway, I hope you enjoy your schooling today. I don't know what you're doing right now, but enjoy. And thanks for all the support and understanding throughout the past 10 hours. I know I've been on the Discord server a little bit talking about it, and I've been on Facebook talking about it. A lot of people have been messaging me, and they're like completely understanding. So thank you for that, by the way. I really do appreciate the support and understanding for this. And again, I'm sorry it's late, but now you at least know why it's late. And I know it's bad that we got 3 cancellations from homophobes, but it's really good that they outed themselves before recording the stuff and taking the money. So at least we're not paying homophobes. And if you're looking for a voiceover artist, apparently don't go on Fiverr. We've learned that lesson now. Anyway, yeah, the Discord link is in the description, I think. Yeah, it is. So you can go to the Discord there if you want. But only allies are welcome, and LGBTQ people. If you're a homophobe, we will immediately ban you. Anyway, have a good night or day. Bye, everyone. And see you next time. I don't know when, but I will see you in season 4 in February, definitely. There's a lot of great stuff coming to you, so make sure you're subscribed and make sure you turn on notifications so that when those episodes go out, you can be notified right away. Have a great one, and bye for now. Love y'all.